Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano, and this is another episode of the world famous, the University of Love, the best podcast at 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call this show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we are recording this broadcast from the great city of Covington, Georgia. All right. We are looking at a bunch of trailers. We are getting loaded. We are ready to rock and roll. This is the last load of the day. I am here to record now so I can go home and do some writing. And we are going to discuss writing fast today. We're going to discuss speed writing. I was doing some writing yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where I used to think that it had to be perfect. I used to have this is one of my hangups. I'll be perfectly honest with you. This used to be one of my hangups. I used to think that if you couldn't make it perfect, if it couldn't be the perfect thing, then it was a failure. But I've come to realize, after hitting myself over the head 100 million times, that nothing is perfect. You know what I mean? You can write, but they make this thing called you can edit. You know, you go back, you can edit you edit your story, you edit your whatever. You know, you edit your book, you edit your blog posts. You know, you write stuff just because the thoughts flow out of your head. Because I have an idea for a book. I'll tell you this. I have an idea for a book, and I'm like, all right. So I'm going to spend 30 minutes to an hour every day, at least 15 minutes. God, let's hope 15 minutes in 2022, and I'm going to write this book. And, I'm going to just let the ideas flow out. And then we're going to go back, and then we are going to edit the book. And maybe even pay somebody to edit the book, because I am not an editor. I write. I've gotten better over the last couple of years with the writing, but that does not matter. We're going to write. We're going to let it flow. But it got me to thinking about you and producing content. There's no perfect content, ladies and gentlemen. There's no perfect scenario. There's no perfect situation. As you know, I record from any and everywhere. I record from here to Timbuktu. It does not matter. I record. I used to shoot videos in the most. I give you an example. I shot a YouTube video once in a parking lot of a hardware store, and it was like the sun was going down, and I said, you know what, this is the perfect time to shoot a video. And so I had my camera out there, and I had the camera, and I'm shooting the video. And it's like, you want to produce this content quickly as possible, and you want to produce as much content as possible, but you want to produce hard-hitting content. You don't want to produce, we talked about this yesterday, you don't want the milquetoast stuff, but whenever you write, whenever you shoot the videos, whenever you do podcasts, it does not have to be perfect. Every show is not going to be a home run. Every show is not going to be the greatest. But what you need to do is keep shooting. All right. The more shots you fire, the better off you will be. Produce. It doesn't take a lot of. It doesn't take. You don't have to study 1,000 hours. You don't have to study people 1,000 hours. The more you do, the better off you will be. All right, and it's pretty simple, but people make it harder than what it has to be. You don't have to be perfect. Nobody's looking for perfection from you. Okay, we all know you ain't perfect. Okay, you ain't the good Lord. Okay, it's okay if you fumble. It's okay if you stumble. If you listen to this podcast long enough, sometimes I fill up things. Sometimes I contradict myself. I say one thing in one sentence, and 2 minutes later, I'm saying the whole other thing. It's just the nature of the beast. We're human beings. You know what I mean? We're flawed people, and it's okay. But the most important thing is that you're here, you're in there, you're in the game, you're in the field, you're doing what you need to do to create the content to get this party started. And because the faster you can get this party started, the faster you can get away from these jobs, you know what I mean, the better off you will be. Because think about this. I had to kill, I'm recording right now while I'm working. You know what I mean? But just imagine how much content I could produce if I was at home in my own studio. You know what I mean? Like, there's elements to this. There's certain limitations, but it's okay though. You record where you can. Write where you can. Do everything where you can. But whenever you are at home or whatever space that makes you feel the most comfortable, you can get a lot more done. All right. And so the faster you can get out of this situation and into your entrepreneurship, the full-time entrepreneurship, the better off you definitely will be. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to have another discussion about change of opinions. All right. And so listen to this commercial from the great sponsor Anchor, and we'll be back. All right, everybody, welcome back. Now, last thing we're going to discuss, and it is you have the right to change your opinion. You have the right to change your opinion about situations, about people. You don't have to. There's not a rigidness to life when it comes to having an opinion about something. And I know yesterday we talked about doubling down, but sometimes you have these thoughts. Like I'll give you an example about me. Before I had my child, before my daughter was born, I used to think, because here in America, a big topic these days is about abortion. And before I had my daughter, I didn't have any kids, and I really didn't think about it. Really didn't put two and two. I really didn't, have. So if somebody would have asked me, they say, hey, what do you think about abortion? I'm go, I don't know, man. I don't, do what they want to do. You know what I mean? Like abortion, cool, whatever. I don't know. But since I had my child, and since I watched what my wife went through, and I watched what people go through, and I watch, people that can't have kids, adopt and all this kind of stuff, I've changed my opinion on abortion, and I think that people should not have abortions. Like I know they should discuss sex in schools, and I know they should definitely suggest they should definitely talk about that stuff at home and all this kind of stuff. But in my personal opinion, I don't believe, because before I would say, if it was me, I wouldn't want the woman to get an abortion. I would want us to figure out what we're gonna do with the baby. This is my opinion before, but now I'm just like they shouldn't have abortions, because a lot of times it's people like to say, what about rape victims and stuff, but there's a small percentage, and that's a different case. If somebody's been raped, then that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother ball game. That's psychological. That's a lot of trauma, behind that. But it's only like 2 to 3% of the people that get raped that have abortion. So that's a very small percentage. The majority of the times, it's just like, hey, I want an abortion. It's a perfectly fine baby, perfectly got pregnant. They're just like, I don't want the baby. And I've come to the conclusion, and I've read more about it, and I've done more research, and I thought about it and gave it more thought, and I'm just like, I couldn't imagine life without my daughter now that she's here, and she's 4 months, and she's We was walking yesterday. She put her little fist in her mouth. I think she's starting to develop some teeth, and so she's been, sucking on her little hand, and she started getting more and more acclimated with the world. And we went to the store, and we went walking, and she's looking at me, and trying to make a little conversation. I'm just like, this is very cute, and I'm just like, I know people are like, my body, my whatever, but there is two people involved in that situation. There's two people involved in having a baby, between a man and a woman, and I don't know what the hell they got going on in America these days, but some people are like, men can get pregnant. It's like, what? That don't even make sense, man. What are we talking about here, But anyway, it's even though I know men are not supposed to have, but it's a big decision between two people, and I think, if you don't want to have kids and all that kind of stuff, you should take all the precautions in the world. Whether you make your boyfriend wear condoms, whether you're on the pill, or you sustain from sex, however you want to do it. There's so many methods that you shouldn't be in this situation in the first place. Honestly, in my opinion, you shouldn't even be in this situation in the first place. Protect yourself, Condom, make him wear a condom. You take the pill. You do whatever, But I think that there should be no abortion, and that's just my opinion, and I have the right to change my opinion. And it took a while, because the first 41 years of my life I was just like, whatever. But first I can't even say 41 years, because when I was from 0 to 25, I would have never thought about abortions and all that kind of jazz. You know what I mean? But you have the right to change your opinion about a lot of different things. I give you some more examples. Let's say you start off whatever you want to do online, and you find somebody that you think is legit, and you're like, all right, I'm going to follow this person. I'm going to try to learn from them. And then you start to realize more and more, you're like, this person is full of it, or this person is not who I thought they were. They're not who they, because it's funny when you first start dating people. The first 3 months, somebody told me this once, and I said, this is very true. The first 3 to 6 months, when you're first dating somebody, you never quite meet the actual person. You meet a representative, and the representative is on the best behavior. The representative is on their P's and Q's. The representative is the best, all right? And so they will come out, kiss hand. They will come out, shake hands, kiss babies, and they will be the best thing you ever ran into. But then after those 3 to 6 months were off, you meet the person. They scratch, they fart, they moan, they gripe all the time. They might be, who knows what they might be. But then it's like, do I like this person? Because this is the person you have to deal with. Or should I just move on? You know what I mean? And so you meet somebody online, you say, hey, they might be legit. Like I told you, I discussed this in the past. I knew a guy, and he started doing online stuff, and I was like, all right, I know this guy from high school. I'm gonna follow him a little bit. Then comes to find out he's just working fraud, every scheme in the book, and I was like, no thanks, but no thanks. Then eventually he just kicked me off his Facebook friends list, because he hit me up and be like, what about that? I'm like, nah, that's okay, I'll pass, hard to pass, and so we're not even Facebook friends. You know what I mean? So that's that, and it just happens that way sometimes. So sometimes you have a change of opinion on some things, and that's okay, that's fine, it's gonna happen. You're gonna not follow the same person over and over and over. On earth, nobody has the complete gospel. You know what I mean? So it's okay if you change your mind. It's okay if you change your mind about a stance that you previously taken before. That's what we are. That's why we are human beings. Okay, but you have an opinion, double down on that opinion. You know what I mean? But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the podcast today. We will be back. We might do a bonus episode this weekend, but we'll definitely be back Monday with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening, and as always, everybody, peace.